Hello, Jeremy Chambers, Independence Acres Homestead here. Today we will be harvesting meat rabbits. This is going to be the culmination of our cuniculture series up to this point. We will have some more in the future, but today we're going to be focusing on harvesting. So we originally recorded this harvesting session about 3-4 weeks ago. Now, we really weren't sure how we were going to break this down, but once we got into editing, we realized this is going to be way too long to put into one video. So we're actually going to be breaking this up into 3 videos. The first video is going to be prepping for harvest and dispatch of the rabbit. The second video is going to focus on skinning, eviscerating the rabbit, and getting it fully prepared to go into the freezer. And finally, the third video in the series is going to be talking about the basic biology of the rabbit so that you can understand what it is that each and every part of the rabbit is used for on your homestead. As I stated, this first video is going to be dealing with dispatch. So for some people, once we get to that point, it might be a little graphic. So I want to just give you a fair warning that I will let you know before the dispatch occurs, but up until then, most of this video is going to be dealing with preparation for harvest in your cuniculture program. So before you get started, you want to make sure you have everything lined up because you want to be able to go through this process as quickly as possible. So the first thing you're going to want is your dispatch method. Now here in our homestead, we like to use the hopper popper, which is a form of cervical dislocation. What this does is it separates the skull of the rabbit from the spinal cord, so you actually are separating and making a disconnection of the base of the skull and the spinal cord from the spinal column. Research shows that this is one of the fastest methods of dispatch. About the only drawback to this method is we do see some bruising on the neck muscles, but it's easily cut and trimmed out when we do the final trimming before it gets packaging. All right, so method of dispatch. The second thing we like to have is a method to hang the rabbits. And what this does is it allows us to hang the rabbits from their rear legs, making it easier to skin and clean the animal. Finally, well, not finally, but also you want to make sure that you have a sharp knife. We use a small game or fillet knife. You can find these online for a reasonable price, or you can use a very sharp kitchen knife, such as a paring knife or something of that nature. Some people even use scalpels or hobby scalpels to do their processing. The last thing that, I keep saying last. The other thing you're going to want, we use a set of pruning shears. This is good for taking the feet off of the rabbit or for breaking through those last tendons in the spinal column. We have some paper towels or other towels on hand just to keep our hands clean. And we also have a bucket of ice water in order to make sure that we have a nice cool place to put the rabbits. We're going to add some salt to this water. That's just going to help draw out some of the blood that might still be in the carcass once we get everything cleaned and into the water. Another thing we like to have on hand is a hose, and last but not least, it helps sometimes to have a helper. My son Caleb's going to be giving me a hand today. Say hi, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
I knew he was going to do that, smart aleck. All right, so it's good to just have an extra set of hands because when you're in the thick of it, it's having somebody hand you the hose or paper towels, or if you drop your knife or something of that nature, you don't want to have to worry about doing and fumbling for all that yourself. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so we're getting ready to process the rabbit here on camera for you. We've already done 2. They were some of our older stock that we wanted to do off camera for 2 reasons. Number one, when they're a little large, they're a little more difficult to skin and a little more difficult to dispatch using the hopper popper method because of their they've got a little stronger neck muscle. So just as a reminder, the ideal age and weight to be processing rabbits is anywhere between 8 and 12 weeks. and at about 5 pounds of live weight. That's going to dress out to about a 3 1/3 pound carcass, which is a good size for a fryer. The rabbits we're processing today here on camera are 14-week-old Californians. They've gotten a little bit beyond that 5 pound range, which is fine. We're not too concerned about that. We are going to be processing all bucks today. We've actually sold off most of our does. So we've got some bucks here that are kind of hanging around, and you only need a couple on the homestead in order to keep your rabbit, your cuniculture program running. So these guys are going to freezer camp today. So we're getting ready to do the dispatch here on camera. So if you are not into watching this, go ahead and skip to the next section. All right, for those of you who are ready to see a dispatch, you're going to see just a little bit of kicking this time because I'm going to be taking it a little slower so that you can see exactly how the process goes. When you do it quickly, you're pretty much, it's over before the rabbit knows what's going on. But easy there, fella. All right, so it is important to make sure that you handle your rabbits on a regular basis as they're growing up, because it just makes the dispatching a little bit easier because they're a little more calm when you're holding them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put these guys into the hopper popper from a couple different angles here. So we're going to go right here from the back angle, and then we'll get a side shot so that you can see how the rabbit's going to go in. All right, so when you're putting your rabbit into the hopper popper here, the most important thing is to remember that the rabbit needs to face away from you. Okay, so you're not going to be bringing it facing towards you or side. You want to make sure that the back of the rabbit is facing towards you here, and the front chin is resting on this bar on the far side of the popper. All right, so when this guy goes in, he's going to go in like this, right? Yeah, so usually we're in and it's done before he gets in. All right, so you can see that's where they're going to hang. All right, and he's going to go in just like this, ears, chin, right, just like that. Now, one of the good things about the hopper popper is that at the point of dispatch, there's no blood. You're not going to get any blood until you actually remove the head. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we really like the hopper popper method, is because there's no blood and the least amount of trauma for the rabbit and for me. All right, so here we go. All right, for actual dispatch now, you're going to use your strong hand and grab the rear legs like so. All right, and then your top hand, you're going to start under the body like this. Okay, so the easiest way to tell whether or not the rabbit is fully passed is you do the eye touch method. If you can touch the rabbit's eye and there's no reaction, you know that it's gone. Thank you so much for watching today. This is just the first video in a series of 3 videos dealing with the harvesting of rabbits. The next one in the series is going to specifically be going over the evisceration and prepping of the rabbit to go into the freezer. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and hang around for the next video that will be coming out shortly. Thank you so much, and as always, God bless.